So this is the Q&A part. So we will take any questions. We'll answer anything we want to know. Just don't tell anybody what we said when we need to vote.
Hey Paul, we're straight ahead in the gazebo. I got our first question coming here.
Okay.
My name's John. My friend Rachel couldn't make it on the cruise and she wanted me to ask this question. Which song from Monster are you most proud of?
I think we all agree it's an awesome, awesome album. We're really proud of it. Probably my favorite song is Long Way Down. But my greasy little fingerprints are on most of them. Guys, favorite songs?
I like Right Here, Right Now, but I think that's only on the iTunes thing. I like All for the Love of Rock and Roll. Eric sings it great. How did it sound last night?
Yeah!
And the night before. That night was awesome. That night was, we were on fire. We were crazy or something.
Alright, next question. Oh, they might jump in the pool after this is over. I like it.
No, some of those belly flops, I could show them how to do it.
Next question, Paul. Believe it or not. Here we go.
Hi, my name is Crystal, and I wanted to know what is your favorite song to play live and why?
Wow. I mean, we've got so many at this point. I still love playing Love Gun.
What about you, Gene?
Did Juice on your forehead? Are you gonna tattoo it?
You know, I always love playing Black Diamond.
Because you get 2 solos in it, right? At least.
And Gene Simmons, what's your favorite song to play?
Deuce. Hey, is somebody taking photos of this? We gotta show this off, Jeffy.
We are taking photos for sure.
Rock and roll!
Hey, Gene! Hey, this is your biggest fan! Astro! If you don't remember, I was one of the 3 people that just got done last year! Alright. I got a question for you, man!
Gene's gonna be a playgirl.
Is there going to be a Kiss question with your costumes, albums, stage props, and photos? If so, will the museum be located in one place? Or would you consider one of the locations perhaps worldwide for all your fans to enjoy? Kiss Museum, anywhere? The kid's got to get in the show business. This guy's big. Whoa, hey, you know what, Gene? There's something I want to tell you. Since you remember that I told you that I'm a firefighter in training, and guess what? If your daughter needs help, I've got her back.
His daughter needs help.
He seems like the guy that starts fires.
And you, Paul, your son, Love Gun is fine too. And every time I sing my head off, and every time I sing that song, everybody knows I sound like Gene.
Is this guy drunk?
Wow.
I haven't understood one thing in any question any guy asked.
this for the longest time, but rest assured we have almost everything that's out there someplace, usually in my house. And Mr. Six Man over there, right in the middle, has been told anything that you guys create that has our faces on it, it's your artwork, we collect it all. We keep it, we hold it, we appreciate it, we love it.
All right, yes. Rock on!
Okay.
Guys, my name is Bart. I'm from New Jersey, the shore. You see the hurricane come on this cruise, man.
How's the rest of your family and everybody?
Everybody's cool. Our cats are good. We have no power, so when we go home, we don't know what we got. But
He can't do that.
I do want to thank you guys for being the soundtrack to my life.
Just tell us the story you told me backstage because it's inspirational and it's self-empowerment and that's what you did and you should be showing people how to do that. Tell us your story.
My story of what? How I escaped the hurricane?
Yeah, that's it. You know, I got to apologize. There's another very good-looking guy who looks just like you. He told me something that brought me almost to tears. Clearly, that's not you. His medication today.
That's what happens when you wear sunglasses.
When it's not sunny.
All right, my question is, on the box set, you included a number of demos and stuff that never made it to release, but there was one song called Time Traveler, which I thought was about this close to being finished and should have been on an album. Are there any other songs that you've developed to that length and have not released, and will we hear them in the future?
Time Traveler wasn't really a Kiss song, and the band had nothing to do with it. I was basically just, what would be the word? I was
Farting around.
exercising, writing songs that wouldn't necessarily be for the band. So I think we all have demos like that that really don't, they don't constitute being a Kiss song. So there's a lot of that stuff around.
And will we hear it?
Will you hear it?
Will we hear it in the future?
You may well, but first you have to tell us that inspirational story.
Yes, Paul going to release anything. Paul say no, because they weren't good enough to make a record. Gene will say yes.
Hundreds of songs.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Say hey, everybody in Jersey.
Okay, my name is Jill. I'm from Orlando, Florida. I am surprisingly enough not a huge Kiss fan, by the way.
You're bringing us all down.
No, the more that I'm around you guys and I see you guys, the more that I like you. So he's bringing me around. But my question, for someone that isn't familiar with Kiss, which album would you say is the most representative group of and why?
The box set.
I'll answer that from my perspective. Everybody has their version or their era of Kiss. Some people, it could have been Crazy Nights or Asylum, Revenge, the first album. So I think it's probably best to get a taste of everything because Kiss is almost 40 years of music.
Wow.
Smash Dragons and hits, something like that. Like a best of.
Thank you very much.
And we still like you.
My name is Ricardo. I'm from São Paulo, Brazil. For me, it's a great honor to be here for the second time, represent my country, my
my Brazilian Kiss Army family, and all South America. This isn't a game show, guys. Come on, it's cool. Well, my question. The Brazilian Kiss concerts in 1983 have a special place in history. Rio de Janeiro, Maracanã is still the biggest audience so far, and São Paulo, Morumbi was the last of the first makeup era. Today, how do you feel about the show? What did you represent for Kiss?
It says you did in Brazil, living easier. For those of you that don't know, sometimes this mic isn't loud, so I gotta talk loudly. For those of you that didn't know, the largest stadium in the world is Maracanã in Brazil. It's four times the size of almost any stadium you can imagine. We played there in the early 80s with a local band, sold it out, before Monsters of Rock, before any of that stuff. Then Belo Horizonte was about 135,000. Anyway, the stadiums were huge around the time of Creatures of the Night. And to us, it was the first time in Brazil, the music, the culture, the people, superb. Almost as good as every other country we went to.
Yeah!
Thank you so much. I see you in a few days in São Paulo, Porto Alegre, and Rio de Janeiro.
Yeah, Brazil!
Take a ride back with you guys. It'd be cool.
Hi guys, my name is Keith. I come from Scotland in the UK, and I just wanted to know how you guys listen to your music these days. Vinyl, CD, MP3.
You know, yesterday in the dressing room, every once in a while, we get a kick out of listening to something that we haven't heard in a while. We listened to Carnival of Souls from beginning to end yesterday. Usually we don't, and we were critiquing ourselves. This song's good, I don't like that part. So we play music for hours before we get up on stage. Not just our stuff, everything.
Thankfully I was in the other room.
Yes. And the team has a mixtape. I think Nick or Sophie AW, right? And he plays the same songs over and over. I'm in my dressing room and I hear this
Rich guys complaining about the World album. And I go, oh, it's Carnival of Souls. We have a lot to complain about. Oh, the butler didn't show up today. The Rolls Royce has a flat tire. Very funny to hear us singing songs about how tough life is.
Hello guys. My name is Mark. I'm originally from New York. How good it is to see you guys again. Thank you. And again. And again. Here's my... The year 2013 is just around the corner, and that will signal the 10-year anniversary of the bombastic masterpiece, Kiss Symphony, Alive 4!
Alive
What are
4?
your feelings? I'm doing something like that once again. For you, the fans, and your Kiss Navy!
He said there was.
combo shots on the way.
Alive.
I want what you're drinking. I'm gonna send up 4 of them.
Also known as Kiss Symphony.
Oh.
You know, we've been approached again about doing Kiss Symphony in different cities. It's a very expensive proposition. Right now, the thing that's on the plate, the thing that we care most about, is going out and celebrating Monster. So we're out there, you know, Monster is something that we spend a lot of time on. So Kiss Symphony, that will have to wait.
Thank you very much.
But doesn't the band sound great?
Yeah!
Hey guys, George Chaco here. I'm from Akron, Ohio.
George!
how did you come up with all of your awesome dance stage choreography throughout the years? And do you have to sacrifice any of your rhythm playing while entertaining?
Well, it's not sacrificing, you'd have to ask them.
It can get interesting. I mean, imagine taking your arm and bending it behind your back, and you know, it's not the conventional way of playing guitar.
Dance together. I haven't a clue what I'm doing. I'm not a great dancer. So I just get up there and try to entertain myself. I have no idea what I'm doing. But I'm going to keep doing it. I mean, I love James Brown, and there's, you know, great stuff. Pete Townsend did some cool stuff, so it's a little bit of different stuff.
Love you, big tongue.
Jackie Wilson, it's my soul coming out. White on the outside, black on the inside. Black and blue on the inside. Hey guys, Chicago, Illinois. We all have a comedy movie that we think is hysterical, one you can watch over and over again. Being the hottest band in the world, I want to know which each of your favorites would be. Kiss Kruise the Phantom. I still can't figure out that one. Deborah gets old at the end. I don't get it.
We like Detroit Rock City. You think that's
Comedy out movies that are not starring you that you like to watch.
Great movie that just came out last year is Bridesmaid. Did you see Bridesmaid?
Over there, Marshall.
I like some new old like anything with John Candy, like I love Stripes.
All right, thanks guys, appreciate it. You know if you get it fun and drop the microphone in the pool and you all die.
All together.
Sun's in
All right, next question. Settle down.
How y'all doing today? My name's Todd Daniel. I'm from Goose Creek, South Carolina, but I live in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Have you ever heard a song that you really like, and you think to yourself, damn, I wish I would have written that?
Good question.
Oh yeah. Gene will say any Beatles song. Now it's thunder.
It just defies logic. That one band, you gotta remember, they were all of them about 22 years old. They wrote hundreds of songs. I get so jealous. Here, watch this. You're gonna write a song. It's called Michelle. What's the first word of the song? Michelle. What's the title? What's the chord? Here, let's try another one. Yesterday. What's the first word? Yesterday. It's just perfect songwriting. She loves you. One of the first three lines of the song, she loves you. That's the name of the song. That's the chord. It's just perfect songwriting.
You know, it is funny. We listen to Beatles a lot in the dressing room, and a Beatles song will come on, and I turn to Gene and I say, "Isn't that great? Don't you love that, Gene?" And he's got this frustrated look on his face. He goes, "No, it just pisses me off." I wish he could enjoy it, you know.
How can you write so many songs? How do you do that? You can, okay, you got, great. Elvin Bishop Crew. I fooled around and found. Okay, that's a good song. The Beatles, hundreds of songs. How do you do that?
I just spend a lot of time writing.
having a great time. Guys, it's six-man, great. Come on. How about this ocean liner, Norwegian Air?
Norwegian Air.
Gene, we're on a boat. You know, he gets kind of confused sometimes. You know, he's getting into his later 60s now. Right, 63, baby. He has a hard time, you know, it's a boat, an airplane, he doesn't know. Put your tray tables up.
Hi guys, my name is Andres Lema. I am from Colombia. I am 44 years old and I have been a Kiss fan since the beginning. Kiss is a fundamental part of my life. I love you guys. I think the current band is absolutely the best and the new music I need Sonic Boom Monster is amazing. Talking about making a live vibe with all these great songs.
We really haven't spent any time thinking about it. After another studio album or two, maybe there'll be something to document. Well, we're just getting started.
I want to say that most of the time, Paul and I get all the attention. So let's just take a moment. We are so proud and humbled to be in a band with Eric and Tommy. Both are triple threats. They play great, they can sing, they love being in the band. It reminds us what teamwork is all about. This could be the first record for Kiss. This is just the beginning.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, my name is Dana from Seymour, Connecticut. My question takes you back a few years. Is there a story behind the development of the Kiss logo?
Sure. The way it started was we were doing shows around New York, and at that point we were kind of pivotal in self-promotion, putting up posters around the city, designing ads for the newspaper, and we were doing the show at a factory. It was a factory during the day, and at night they would have bands come in and play. And we did an ad for the paper, and Ace did a very crude logo of the K and I and two slashes as the S. And from that, a few concerts later in New York, I sat down and designed what we still use on everything. The logo that I drew on my parents' coffee table on a piece of paper with a ruler is what is on every t-shirt that you have and any other piece of merchandise. If you look at the two S's, they're not exactly parallel to each other. And when we got a deal at the record company, they wanted to know if they could redraft it to make it perfect. And I said, it got us this far, so that's what's on everything. What I drew on my table, Ace started the concept, the logo was designed and drawn by me.
Hello, my name is Roger from Norway, Stavanger. Thank you for coming to my hometown next year for the Viking Fest.
You have great tats.
Yes, that's my question. What do you think of all these crazy Kiss fans getting tattoos? How you?
Obviously everybody can't do it. What humbles us is the relationship that we have with people from 30, 40 countries around the world who come together once a year to celebrate everything Kiss. It's humbling for us, and we hope we never let you down. I agree.
Hi, I'm Ronnie from North Carolina, and I'm the girl who cried her eyes out when I met you.
I thought they all do that.
Yeah, you got this. They're way across the pool. Oh, look. Just not.
Can you see over there? Who's it? Is that what they're asking right in there?
Oh, she's got it. She's got it. Come on, you can do it. She had it.
What is she crying about?
Inspiring rock star, how do you deal with the hecklers in the audience, and how do you deal with shyness on stage and come out of your show?
What was it, too? The questions were to an inspiring rock star. How do you deal with hecklers in the audience, and how do you get over shyness on stage to come out of your show?
Listen, this is something you gotta remember. There is no one who's beyond criticism. Not everybody likes Jesus. You're always gonna have people who are gonna say something to you. Don't take from anybody. You're a winner. You wanna know how big of a rock star you are? Let's hear it for her! You rock. You rock.
Can I tell you something? When I was younger, I was afraid of playing people out. We recently played in Cleveland, and two of my high school friends that I knew since I was about 13 came to the show, and they said, "We remember, Eric, you would never play drums in front of us. You were totally shy."
Wow.
And they were shocked to see, what I ended up doing. So you have to build your confidence, and that comes from just doing what you love every day and never give up and stay focused. And eventually you'll get where you want to be.
And we're going to get her a date with the first guy that asked the question to Gene, so they'll get it together.
Hi guys, my name is Kelly Rogers. I'm from California. And first of all, thank you for doing stuff like this, connecting with the fans. That's awesome. No other band. That's awesome. The question is, and I'd like to hear from each of you, but Paul specifically, you have said that there are albums in the past that didn't really sonically, capture the band properly. If you could go back and completely start over and re-record, mix and master, one of the albums from the 70s or 80s, which would you choose?
Well, I think there's two questions there. In terms of albums that don't sound sonically as I hope they would, probably the first, second, and third, mainly because we didn't have anybody to work with who could capture what we were about live. We've always been a ferocious live party band, and those albums tended to be a bit tame. The songs were great. I think it took until about Kiss Alive to start to capture it. But over the time, we lost it again. We'll listen to some of our albums and go, that doesn't sound so great. But honestly, I wouldn't change a thing. I stand by everything we did. If we were to go in the studio and change one of those albums, you're effing with history. I mean, we've got children, so I said effing. We don't want to F with our history. We're proud of everything we did. We may have made some mistakes, but we made up for it.
Hi, my name is Adrian Sarah, Hi, Paul. Your first makeup design back in 1973 was a mask over both eyes, and you were tentatively going by the name The Bandit. What prompted you to scrap that image or character, and what was your influence and inspiration to create the iconic Star Child image and character that we all love?
Well, it's interesting because I started off with the star, and the initial photos of the band and a bunch of shows we did, I had the star. The record company president, who at that time we gave more power to than perhaps we should, said that he didn't like it, and he thought that dancing around on stage and being what he considered flamboyant was not macho enough. So he wanted me to lumber around on the stage and come up with a makeup that was less dramatic. So I came up with that Lone Ranger looking mask. And it actually lasted about a month. But there were photos done, we did a photo shoot, and sometimes history gets reversed and people tend to think that's how it started. It actually had about a month run, and then I said, screw this, you stay behind your desk, I'm the guy on stage, have a good day.
Hey guys, Jeff Hopkins from Buckley, Washington. Jeff! That's Andy Moynihan from Massachusetts. Superman! We really don't have a question for you. What we got is a little story to tell. When KK2 was announced, Andy decided that we ought to get a bunch of people together and have a living in the sin party at the Holiday Inn. And as things got going, quite a few people wanted to show up. So I got a hold of Andy and I said, hey, you know what? Let's have a raffle. Let's raise some money for the Wounded Warrior. So as it got going a little bit bigger, I contacted Adri and said, Adri, do you mind if we come over to the HRC party you're putting on? Do our Wounded Warrior raffle. So we did. Got a lot of great contributions, used them as donations. We raised a hell of a lot of money, and we wanted to show you what we did.
Ready? Wow!
$6,026.82.
You know, for everybody here, obviously we're not all from the same country, but we're blessed that we all live in free countries. Don't ever forget that the people who are most important are the people who keep you free. Yeah! When they come home from fighting, those are the heroes. We're proud of the people who support the Wounded Warrior Care Project. We've got some amazing soldiers and people, men and women in this country who volunteer to fight on our behalf and keep the country free. You all live in a free country. Take care of the people who keep you free.
Yeah! This has a big hand. That's unbelievable. How much you got?
Hi, my name is Ray. I'm from Houston, Texas. I'd like to say that it's a great honor to talk and ask this question of you. This question is for Paul and Jean. When and where did you first meet?
I was an only child and always delusional. I'm still pretty much that. I thought I was the only one in the world who figured out how to write songs. Really. Never mind the fact the Beatles and the Stones and everybody had been writing songs. You know, they were up there. I was the only real person that I knew of who wrote songs. 100 of them, all of them bad. So one day, the guitar player who I grew up with, Stephen Cornell, he helped me write Going Blind and She. Whoa! In my invited me over to his house because there was a guy named Stanley Eisen.
Yeah!
He was forming a band with him and he thought I should meet him. So I went up. Literally, I said, "Oh, how you doing?" And Steve said, "Oh, this guy writes songs." And I said, "Oh, really?" So I said something like, "Go ahead, play me one of your songs." Thinking it's going to be la-di-da. The prick plays Let Me Know as the first song. And I'm going, wow, that's pretty good. Wow. This guy can sing, looks good. I should go back to the corner where I came from and be quiet. And that's how we first met. He did not like me.
Who would know? Here we are 40 years later, and I couldn't be more proud to have this relationship. It's been a blast. It's been a blast, and whatever you hear over the years, the proof is we're still together.
My name is Martin from Montreal, Canada. I've been around since '79, and this is the best Kiss lineup ever. Everything told me that my question is for each member. If you can make a solo record and you can buy any best musician you want, dead or alive, who will be your rhythm guitar, lead guitar, drummer, bass, and singer?
My favorite, if I could put a fantasy band together, I guess Jimmy Page would play guitar, John Paul Jones would play bass, John Bonham would play drums, Robert Plant would sing, and I'd stay home.
You know, for me, it would have to be Paul McCartney. Maybe Jimi Hendrix. And who would be drummer? Eric Singer would be the drummer. Because he's badass.
No kidding, you know, we speak to a lot of people, and just for us playing, there's nobody who plays like Eric. He is just a dynamo. And the funniest thing is, he's one of the strongest people we could imagine to have singing in the band. And when he first joined the band, we didn't even know he could sing.
Wow.
So,
ESP, baby, lost his space.
I showed up at rehearsal, and I said to Gina Paul, I go, "What part do you want me to sing?" Just assuming they want me to help out. And they're like, Gina's like, "Well, can you sing this?" And I'd be like, "No, that's too high," or "Can you sing this?" "No, that's too low." And Gene was gracious enough to actually change a lot of the parts that he normally would sing, so he could help me learn how to, be a background singer in the band. So I have to thank really Paul and Gene for helping me develop whatever limited singing ability I have. But getting back to people we'd like to play with, I've been very blessed to play with a lot of my heroes, aside from playing Kiss, because I was a huge Kiss fan, just like all of you in the beginning. And so, I tell people this story. I cut a picture of a magazine, it was called Rock Scene. And Paul told me he sent the photo in. And I remember I cut it out and I had it glued on I had like an armoire in my bedroom to keep your clothes in. And my mother reminded me, I remember you had those pictures of Kiss on your wall.
Wow.
And if you would have told me I ended up in the band, be careful what you wish for, right? But getting back to your question, I got to play with some of my favorite musicians, but the ultimate band would be probably like Jimi Hendrix or Jeff Beck on guitar. Paul McCartney on bass, of course. And I'd probably want a second drummer, and probably Ringo. The greatest songwriters ever is the Beatles, and he played drums on that stuff.
You know, the reason Eric doesn't really go into having played with his favorite bands is that he was actually in bands. So, Queen, Black Sabbath, everybody. So, we're lucky, and there you have it. My dream band, when I was a kid, I literally dreamed I was in the Beatles. Remember, I said I was delusional. I used to, even though I'm a foot taller and 100 pounds heavier, because those guys are little. I used to dream, where I came from, where we lived for a while, Jackson Heights, Queens, that I used to run ahead of them because my legs were longer when the girls were chasing us. There were 5 Beatles, I was one of them.
I'm from Peoria, Illinois, and my question is for all of you guys, and I wanted to know, now that you've sailed on this cruise with me twice, what do you enjoy the most, what do you least like, and what can I and everybody else do to make 2013 better for you?
You need the truth? Yeah.
You know, I think we're kind of, like all of you, we're figuring this out as we go along, and, you know, your input and 6-man, and that's important to keep making it grow.
I think the spirit is up this year from last year, and I think we're just getting our footing. I was going to say we're just getting our feet wet, but
You don't want to do that.
this is something that we want to do yearly. It's something that probably means at least as much to us as it does to you. It really is a gathering of the tribe, and it's a celebration of something that we all created together. And next year will be that much better. Hopefully I'll get to sail you.
You got to remember all.
Gene said, and Norwegian Air, right?
Hi guys, I'm Mark, and I'm a UK Kiss Navy Petty Officer.